I'm back on the road exploring more of our magnificent nation.
The most incredible vista.
As ever, I'm joined by my trusty camper, named after one of my favourite people, Helen Mirren.
Oh, well done, Helen.
We're off to amazing spots.
I love it.
You're on the telly.
Hi, Mum.
Enjoying local pastimes.
And we're off.
Hunting out quirky customs.
Oh, what is going on?
You won.
Oh, Dad!
And meeting great people.
I love the way you think. It's quite a big sleeve, that. I'm just going to breathe it all in. It sounded like a bunch of Glaswegians approaching.
It's a feast for the eyes.
Absolutely spectacular. That has raised the heart rate.
Ears.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
And all the senses.
That is beautiful.
We live in a land full of wonder. So come along on my grand day out.
Woohoo! Let's go!
This time, I'm lapping up the Lake District.
Are you going to feed it to me?
Yeah, go on.
Whilst travelling in style.
Hiya! I love it when people wave back.
And enjoying the sights.
It's quite something to behold. Got pig's leather on my shorts now. How am I going to explain that away?
The lakes are pulling on my heartstrings.
We give you Susan Calman. Yay!
In the most surprising of ways.
Best day ever. So, Helen, we're in the Lake District. One of the most beautiful places to visit. I think it's the sunshine, it's the greenery, it's the valleys, it's the water, all of it magnificent. I cannot wait to see what we get up to.
At the borders of the Lake District lies the appropriately named Eden Valley. Let the adventure begin. I'm starting here at one of its beauty spots for a sneak peek at the wonders ahead.
This is a most excellent walk through these beautiful trees. I feel like there should be a gingerbread house somewhere over there where there is somebody tempting me in with treats. The most incredible vista. I mean, say what you like about the Lake District. It knows how to make an entrance, doesn't it? I mean, it's like, knock, knock, who's there? The Lake District, that's who. What a perfect place to plan my adventure. Woof! Brilliant. Right, map out. Oh, everything about the Lake District's dramatic, isn't it? Here we go. Right, let's see. I don't know what's happening with the leg. I've gone too early with the leg. Let's see how long I can keep this going for. And what I really want to do, too much, Susan, calm down, is cover as much ground as I possibly can.
I'm going to travel in a loop across the lakes. Starting at Coniston Water, I'll head north. Then travel to the coast, stopping at Lake Windermere on the way. Then head inland before ending my adventure in the gorgeous market town of Keswick.
Map in hand. Let's get going. Leg up one more time and off.
The Lake District is England's largest national park, and in the south lies the stunning Coniston Water.
So I'm going to leave you behind for a wee bit, Helen. Hope you don't mind. I'm going to get on the water. There's a beautiful Victorian steam gondola, and it offers a really special thing, which I'm super excited about.
Originally launched in 1859, this Victorian steam yacht called Gondola offers tourists the chance to step back in time with daily sailings across the calm waters of Coniston. At the helm is yacht manager Julian.
Julian.
Good morning, Susan.
Pleasure
Welcome
to
to
meet
Gondola.
Thank you. I love this boat. But tell me about the history of it a little bit, because I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it in my life.
Well, you probably haven't, because she's pretty much unique.
Really?
Yeah, she was designed back in the late 1850s. And she's probably one of the world's first ever steel-hulled vessels.
The steam yacht gondola takes its name and sleek design from Venetian Barchiellos, bringing a touch of Italian elegance to the Lake District waters.
So was it originally built as a pleasure craft?
Yeah, despite all the elegant looks, this was never built for rich people. This is pretty much the start of holidays for the working chap.
Gondola was not only affordable to the lower and middle classes, but it also became one of the world's first examples of a package holiday.
Gondola was totally revolutionary, where everything for the day you transport to the Lake District by train, by ferry, and then up to the lake. It was called the Circular Tour, and it was aping the Grand Tour, which richer people were making of Europe.
It must have been amazing for people to come, just as tourism kind of really taking off, to come for literally a grand day out in places like this, on something like this. It must have quite literally blown people's minds.
It absolutely did.
Today, it still wows visitors with a unique experience, the chance to be a boat engineer for the day. I'm giving it a go under the guidance of Anne.
Hi, Anne.
Hi.
My goodness, it is hot in here, isn't it? Oh, this is the living, breathing heart.
Yeah.
Throughout the journey, you have to keep that fire going?
Yeah. Obviously, the steam is being used and the pressure will come down if we don't keep the fire topped up.
How did you get involved in it?
I did the training to work in the engine room as a volunteer.
But it's such a beautiful story that you did this kind of like I'm doing it.
Yes.
Now you're giving other people that experience.
It's up to Anne and me to get this 42-ton vessel moving, so we best get to work as eager passengers are boarding.
We check that the steam goes through. We check that the water goes through, which it does. Do you want to have a go? Listen to the water draining. Yep. So there's nothing blocking it. So that's what we're checking.
It's a big engine, and I'm terrified.
There's no time for nerves as it's full steam ahead.
We're moving, Anne! We're moving!
Don't say I'm not observant. Gondola is powered by steam, just like the old days, but now it's run on sustainable fuel, using a whopping 400 kilograms every day. Which it's been burning through fast. Not that my gazing out the window had anything to do with it.
The fire's almost gone, so we're going to throw loads.
Oh, loads.
So spread it around.
And is constantly checking the gauges and the pressure and the water and everything else.
With the firebox fully stocked, I've earned a little time on deck.
This is a boat that makes you smile. And you can hear the engine going, chug along the water. I love it. Hiya! I love it when people wave back.
You might think my smile couldn't get any wider, but you'd be wrong.
Best day ever.
To top it off, Gondola's first scheduled stop is the beautiful Brantwood House on the shores of Coniston.
Thanks, Anne. Thank you, Julian.
This historic house was once home of eminent Victorian writer and artist John Ruskin, who clearly had an eye for a view, with its magnificent mountainside gardens, which visitors can explore and enjoy.
As you come off the boat, there's a quite incredible wild area of flowers. It's a gentle way to end what was an incredibly gentle boat ride. This whole place is just soothing my soul. I'm just going to breathe it all in.
The walk is a treat in itself, but at the top, there's another in store.
So I've made it to this beautiful, bustling tea room. So if you're going back on the boat again, you can look out there and see it coming and just run down and get back on it again. It's the perfect way to wait for a return journey. And it would be rude not to try this chocolate cake, wouldn't it? Because remember, when you're on holiday, whatever you eat, it doesn't count because you've got an extra stomach that's hidden for holidays. That's what I always think.
Coming up, my senses are heightened
I do have a wonderful nose.
and my curiosity piqued.
That is extraordinary!
I'm having a grand day out, touring around the luscious Lake District.
This is a narrow little bridge, Helen.
Soaking up the sights, from charming villages and shimmering lakes to the grandest of buildings.
I love a big old country house. I really do. And I love it even more when there's a surprise at the country house. Now, this one has a particularly sticky surprise that you might not be expecting. Looks at camera.
Just south of the town of Penrith lies this magnificent mansion, Calmans House, where once a year the sweet and tangy scent of citrus fills the air when it hosts the World Marmalade Awards. Since its creation in 2005, it's become a fruity sensation, attracting thousands every year, with entries as far-flung as Hawaii and New Zealand, all while raising over £250,000 for charity. And at Calmans House, there's even a room honouring their beloved preserve.
So this is the room of marmalade. It's a beautiful display of lots and lots of different types of marmalade that's been entered into the competition. And they're from all over the world. Women's Institute marmalade. I bet you that's brilliant. Oh, some wee kids made that. That's beautiful. This is like a little time capsule of people's absolute adoration for something that people put on their toast. It's brilliant.
And it's all thanks to Jane, the founder of these marvellous Marmalade Awards.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Calmans.
I had no idea that this place was the centre of everything marmalade.
It is completely extraordinary, isn't it?
Yeah.
It came about because we have this wonderful archive, and in it there were recipes for marmalade. People collected and saved all the recipes during the 1600s. It is absolutely wonderful. And I thought, well, why don't we invent something which could actually bring people to Cumbria?
I love the way you think. The first competition, how many entries did you have?
We had 60. And
60.
I had a friend and we said, well, if it works, we'll do it again.
Okay.
And so each year it has. We're now up to perhaps 3,000 entries.
You sit here and just slowly you get jars of marmalade sent to you.
We do. It's only been through word of mouth and people hearing about
The
it.
underground marmalade circuit.
Exactly. And this,
Have you heard about the marmalade competition? Uh-huh.
And now this marmalade movement is unstoppable.
we had a lot of marmalades coming from Japan. So I wrote to the ambassador and I said, is there any chance that we might be able to have a marmalade festival in Japan?
Like marmalade, the love of this preserve has spread, as they now have a sister festival in Australia too.
Across oceans, across time zones, marmalade is bringing people together.
And if you say the word marmalade, you actually smile.
You do. You do. Try it. Try it. Marmalade.
Marmalade.
Absolutely.
A man who must be smiling all day long is Ivan, who has been a judge at the awards for over 15 years.
What are your qualifications to judge the marmalade competition?
Well, I've been making marmalade myself for about 60 years.
Wow.
But most of the marmalades I were interested in are ones that have disappeared because I'm a historian.
Combining his passions, Ivan's made a quince marmalade from a 17th century recipe that I can try.
You can feed it to me.
Yeah, go on. Okay.
Very sugary.
Yeah, it is a bit, but they liked sugar in those days.
It's been around 40 years since anyone fed me like that, Ivan. God, the nostalgia of marmalade.
Now it's time to put my taste buds to the test as I learn the fine art of marmalade judging.
So this is one of the score sheets. Mm-hmm. So we've got various categories here. Presentation.
You're looking for translucency and clarity,
Yep.
colour too, flavour. It's a bit like tasting a wine. Mm-hmm. I want you to just sniff it. What do you get from that?
I mean, I'm very definitely getting the citrus smell.
It's made from a Japanese orange, which is called a yuzu. Do you like that?
I like that.
The yuzu has got a really unique flavour.
It's sweet, but the yuzu is cutting straight through it.
Yeah, that's one of our gold winners.
Maybe I'm a marmalade judge in the making.
You must have a wonderful nose.
I do have a wonderful nose. Often other people can't smell things and I can smell them, Ivan. And I've walked into rooms going, something smells in here, and no one else has smelt it.
Not always the best superhero power, I'll admit, but my spidey senses know what they like.
That's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. And by the way, your quince is I would say a 10 out of 10.
Well, that's very kind of you.
No,
yeah.
it was delicious. Although you get extra points for feeding it to me.
Ivan and I are clearly marmalade for each other. Fueled from my sugar high, I'm hitting the road and heading to England's largest lake, Lake Windermere, which is as rich in legend as it is in beauty. As on these banks, it's rumoured a mythical creature darts through the air.
Much like the Loch Ness Monster. I believe in it. I absolutely do.
The first sighting was reported in 1900 by a quick-thinking boatman who wasted no time turning it into a tourist attraction by offering boat tours in search of this elusive creature. To prove its existence in 1906, he claimed to capture one and took it to a local photography studio.
This is the Tizzy Wizzy. The body of a hedgehog, tail of a squirrel, and the wings, much like a bumblebee. It's an extraordinary thing.
Armed with binoculars and a healthy dose of imagination, tourists flocked to catch a glimpse. And whilst few could boast an actual sighting, the stories and laughter shared on the boat tours became legend in their own right.
Apparently, if you put your ear very close to the water, you can hear its faint cry. Now, unfortunately, there are rather a lot of geese here who may drown out the call of the Tizzy Wizzy. But I'll always listen out for it. This beautiful creature is in there. I'm sure of it.
I might not have spotted a Tizzy Wizzy today, but I'm heading towards the coast to meet some other local legends, which has got me thinking.
My mother always tells me one of my major faults in life is that you can look at my face and tell exactly what I'm thinking, which means I could be particularly good at a rather interesting competition that takes place around these parts. But at the same time, I don't think the world's quite ready for what my face can do.
If you haven't worked it out yet, I'm talking about Gurning, and the town of Egremont is where top-notch face pullers attend its annual championships, run as part of the intriguingly named Crab Fair. Kevin is one of its organisers.
Hello. Please tell me what the Crab Fair is, because I'm imagining some crabs in kind of tiaras wandering around.
It all stems from the crab apples.
Oh, a crab apple.
Yeah, the crab fair gets its name from there.
It all started back in 1267 when the Lord of Egremont gifted the locals with crab apples, sparking what is now one of the oldest fairs in the world, the Crab Fair. And, so the story goes, the fair's highlight owes it all to this delightfully sour fruit.
So there was these farmers, started having a few beers. One of them thought, have a bite of this apple. Obviously, when you have something sour, you suck your face in.
Yeah.
There you go, Gurning's born.
Gurning was born.
And it's now a World Championship sport.
And the world title holders belong to two local families.
That is extraordinary. I'm coming to speak to you two first.
Meet mother and daughter Gurning champs Claire and Kendall.
Now, tell me how you started off in the Gurning world.
I started off when I was a junior, a bit like Kendall, but in 2013, that's when my sister actually put me forward for it.
Your
but
sister,
my sister, yeah, my sister. But I wasn't obviously expecting to win.
A talent that runs in the family, as daughter Kendall bagged herself a trophy too at last year's event.
When they said that I was the winner, I was like,
I genuinely think, though, it's a talent you have and it should be celebrated. Yeah. There is beauty everywhere.
Another pair famous for their face pulling is Tommy and grandson Ezra.
When did you first start doing it, though?
I think I was about 10-year-old. My father was coming back each year and he kept bringing these trophies back.
So your father was a gardener?
My dad was world champion, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you think about your granddad's gardening?
Brilliant.
It's good, isn't it?
The thing is, I'm getting old, it's getting harder to make that transformation now.
My face just always looks like this.
With 2 champion gurning families standing before me, I feel it would be remiss if I didn't suggest a friendly competition.
So, Kevin, what are we looking for?
Looking for the biggest transformation of face, Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast.
Can't use any artificial aids or your hands. Just looking for a bit of stage presence.
It's time for the ultimate family gurn-off. The fighters are in their corners. The judges are ready. Let's get ready to rumble! Representing the ladies, Kendall and Claire, the undefeated women's champ for the last 7 contests.
Please show me your best gurning. I like the physicality. Kendall, you very much embodied it.
And for the boys, it's Ezra and 18 times world male champion, Tommy.
Oh, gee, it's quite something to behold.
As good as they've all been, I'd say gurning is a young person's game.
Joint winners, and please enjoy these sour apples.
Today's prize might be sour, but the taste of victory is sweet. And like any gurner, they're in it for the glory. Coming up, Mother Nature
Got pig's leather on my shorts now. How am I going to explain that away?
reclaims a castle. Woof! Whilst I try my hand at puppetry.
I'm very nervous.
I'm having a fabulous time trundling through the Lake District in Helen, soaking up the sights.
What a delight.
And next on our hit list is the hamlet of Unthank. That's offering something rather special to its visitors.
Childhood memory coming up. When I was younger, my parents had a projector. And on birthdays and special occasions, a sheet would be put up in the living room and we'd watch movies. I still remember the sound of it as it was rolling. One of the films we watched was the tale of a Scottish piper on the battlements of a castle and a ghost. And it was a puppet show. I must have watched that 50 or 60 times. And since then, I've been absolutely fascinated by how something operated like this can capture your imagination. And this is the perfect place to delve inside the art of puppetry.
Unthank may be small, but surprisingly it boasts a puppet theatre and museum.
Look at this!
With handcrafted puppets from around the world.
There are so many puppets here. It's absolutely incredible. I mean, these are works of art.
Bringing them to life are puppeteers John and Elaine.
Hello, you two. John, tell me about how it first started.
At school, I had some Pelham toy puppets. And I made a theatre, and my friends got involved, and we did shows. So that was the beginning.
We went to school together,
Did
believe
you?
it or not. I was assisting with the first Pelham puppet shows that he was taking into care of. It's just gone on and
So
on.
how long have you
since then.
two known each other then?
We've been married almost 50 years.
But after a career as a theatre designer, it was a life-changing moment that brought John's puppet passion to the spotlight.
I had cancer 40 years ago. And they didn't know if I was going to live or die. So I made a list.
So what was on the list then?
Moved to a nice place. Elaine was from Cumbria, so we came back to Cumbria. At the end of the list was build a puppet theatre and a puppet museum, which sounds a bit crazy, but it was a great image to carry us through all the ups and downs.
I don't think it sounds crazy at all. And that's a momentous thing that was happening to you. So you thought, after thinking about puppets all this time, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
From a bucket list to reality, John and Elaine have created a 128-seat theatre. But backstage is where the real magic happens.
Up here onto the Puppeteers Bridge.
Hold on, I'll push myself up. There we go.
It's worth the climb to have a play with these puppets.
So these are marionettes. When you bend it down, his head will nod. And if you twist it, his head will turn.
You turn that, And if I do that, oh, what's going on over there?
Hello, Jack.
Okay.
I think we should do a dance together.
Yeah, okay.
We go to the left first.
We're mirror images, that's what we're doing.
We've never had anybody who took to it like a duck to water before, like you.
Oh, shush.
But will it be good enough, as I've been asked to help out in their afternoon show?
What do you want me to do?
I would like you to pull one of these jacks through the cloud layer and dance on the clouds before the curtain comes down.
My first ever marionette performance.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we give you Susan Calman, puppeteer extraordinaire. Yay!
Hopefully this afternoon's full house will agree.
The crowd is coming in. This is always my favourite part of any show, the excitement. I just hope I don't let them down.
Once upon a time, a long time ago, there was a little cottage.
John and Elaine are up there with the puppets. I'm very nervous. Don't look so sad. Go on, go.
There's a puppet waiting in the wings. Look. It's just like an actor on stage. The puppet's like that.
Tomorrow, I'll return and I'll be thrown out of your cottage.
And it isn't long before it's my turn.
Wow, what an amazing place this is. A land in the clouds. I wonder if I can walk about on them.
I'll do my best, Jack.
Well done.
Thank you very much to both of you.
It's an honour having you
for being so supportive. The sweat is dripping off me.
Forget the gym. These shows must keep John and Elaine fighting fit.
My arms are so sore. I just wanted to do well because you're performing a story for the audience. What an incredible experience. This is a true gem in the Lake District. I just need to go and ice my arms for a while though. Goodness sakes. Oh.
Not that my arms get any rest in Helen.
She's a heck of a core workout, is this van. She really is. Power steering would spoil her, I think. It's much better to make this noise all the time.
We're headed 20 minutes south to an enchanted castle where nature rules.
This is an incredibly impressive driveway. I've got a tiny little driveway. I don't think you'd even call it a driveway, it's a path. But it's my path. I mean, this is better than mine.
This is the majestic Lowther Castle. With its towering walls and extensive gardens, it's truly a sight to behold.
Whew. I mean, this is something, isn't it? This is giving me Batman vibes. This is Wayne Manor, and a superhero lurks beneath it. I mean, that's maybe just my imagination. But if I was a superhero, this is the kind of place I would definitely have my lair. I've always wanted a lair. I'm going to see what's inside. Maybe something lurking.
It might have a foreboding exterior, but inside is like stepping into a fairy tale.
Wow. This is absolutely incredible.
This splendid Gothic revival marvel was built in the 19th century for the first Earl of Lonsdale and was once the epitome of opulence and elegance, boasting a room for every day of the year. But the story takes a dramatic turn. By the 1940s, the fifth Earl, Hugh Lowther, had frittered away the family's fortunes. This led to the sale of the castle contents and even its roof, leaving it to ruin. But in its decay, a magical beauty has crept in.
There's something so gorgeous, I think, about ruined buildings. I absolutely love them because it lets you imagine what would have happened here. It's kind of an age-old story. Someone in the family loses the property. And unlike a lot of places, this one really has been left kind of to be reclaimed by nature. I think this is amazing because instead of the grand staircases and the paintings and the tapestries, there's this. It's really organic. Whatever happened in this place, it's not been restored to its glory, it's been left. But it is still glorious and beautiful. Oh, this is brilliant.
Nature truly prevails here, and keeping it that way are conservationist Joe and ecologist Elizabeth, who help manage the estate's ambitious programme.
Hello, you two.
Ah, hello.
Oh, yeah. It looks like you're at a sweet shop.
We're actually collecting wildflower seeds to kind of restore wildflower habitats out on the estate.
You're part of the conservation team. What is it you do?
So we're just trying to manage the land in a more gentle way so there's more space for nature in it. So, in terms of the practical stuff we're doing, we're trying to restore the river. We're trying to restore wildflower-rich grasslands so that there's, nectar and pollen and insects everywhere. The aim is to kind of let nature lead the way, really.
So we've got English Longhorn cattle and then we've got some Tamworth pigs and we've got fell ponies as well. It's good to have a variety of things.
Tell me about these pigs. What were the breed of pigs?
The Tamworth pigs.
Tamworth
Big
pigs.
hairy orange pigs.
Big hairy orange pig? I mean, how big are you talking?
They can get,
they can get quite
ones.
big. Yeah, we've got some big ones up here. We've got some smaller ones as well. So.
You've done this before. You've got the look of two people who've gone, they can get quite... Wait till she sees the size of these pigs.
Yeah, they
it's
can
amazing.
get quite large, yeah, but they're very gentle creatures.
I mean, are they the size of me?
Yeah, they might be bigger.
Turns out Joe wasn't far off. But they're a rather joyful version of the wild boar who would have roamed these lands centuries ago.
So they're snuffling around.
They like to dig under the ground, and so they're turning over the soil and creating bare soil, which then means new plant growing through.
They give us the effect of the wild boar ecologically by turning over the soil. But they're much, they're quite friendly. They're easy to be around.
Are these your favourites, Joe?
They are my favourites.
I knew that.
I do like to come and see them.
I could tell. His wee face lit up, didn't it? It's really beautiful what you're doing here, trying to naturally graze and naturally tend to a place by using these breeds of animals that would have been here before. And you love them, don't you?
We do love them, yeah.
It's slightly hypnotic watching them.
It is.
They certainly lull you into a false sense of security.
I've got pig sliver on my shorts now. How am I going to explain that away? When I go home, the cats are going to go crazy.
With a distinctly earthy odour following me, it's time to hit the road, as there's a little something I'm keen to do.
I'm one of these people that still likes to send postcards because I don't think there's anything more exciting than seeing some mail there that's not just like bills or information. Even if I write it and post it when I come home. Greetings from Athens, posted from Glasgow. I mean, the thought's still there.
And I had to buy one here, because the Lake District is where the beloved Postman Pat was created. Author John Cunliffe drew inspiration from a village near Kendal. So on the way to the postbox, I'm starting to feel a wave of nostalgia.
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. Early in the morning, just as day is dawning.
Of course, Helen and I are available for the next movie adaptation. But for now, we've made it to the perfect spot to post my card.
So here we are. This isn't just any postbox. This is Postman Pat's postbox, because the author of those incredible stories lived round here, and this used to be the post office. And this is where he first imagined Mrs. Goggins behind the counter. So it's very, very special indeed. So I've got a postcard to my friend Karen from the Lake District that I'm going to post into this box, very special box. In it goes. Wonderful. I mean, it is picture postcard perfect here.
And a lovely trip down memory lane.
Early in the morning, just as day is dawning, Pat thinks he's a very lucky man.
Coming up, I get myself into a sticky situation.
So what we're not doing is duct taping my chest.
Yeah, tight. Yeah.
And I enjoy a picnic of champions.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Helen and I are having a ball touring around the Lake District, but there's still plenty more wonders waiting around the bend.
There's a distinct quality to the Lake District that I love. You know you're there. Do you know what I mean? It's lovely to go somewhere where you think, yep, couldn't be anywhere else than this beautiful place.
But in all my time spent traversing these glorious lands, there's one activity that's truly synonymous with this region that I've never explored, until now.
I'm not a huge fan of extreme sports. Let me give you an example. Running. I'm an avid runner and sometimes do 20, 25 kilometres a week, but I do it in a safe space on a treadmill with a podcast in my ears. Fell running, completely different kettle of fish. It's very popular around these parts, and I'm going to meet a couple of people who'll tell me why to run on a fell should make me well gel.
For over a century, fell running has been at the heart of the Lake District, where apparently just walking up the hill isn't challenging enough. So they created a sport where the only thing crazier than the uphill sprint is the downhill dash. And the fact that races can last from 30 minutes to 24 hours. Jules and Nikki are fell running pals, with Jules a former British champion.
Jules, Nikki, it's so nice to meet you. This place is stunning for a start. This is where you come a lot, isn't it, Jules?
Oh, we come here all the time, yeah.
Yeah.
This is our local hill.
As a child, I was brought round here walking with my parents, and I used to think, why do they walk downhill? You know, when you can, maybe I'll run downhill. And that's my passion, is fast running downhill.
Fast running downhill. Yeah. When I was a kid, I had no fear. I've got a lot of fear now. What is it about fell running that makes you want to do it again and again?
You're just totally focused on something. Everything else in life doesn't matter. It's the ultimate mindfulness thing, and you're just doing that. Just being 100% focused.
And you do have to focus because the terrain can change so quickly. The weather patterns, the ground you're running on. Thinking about safety is a big thing. It really, from the start, we have what's called a bag faff before we leave, and that's where you're checking that you've got your map and your compass and your whistle, and you're looking at the weather all the time, because it can turn, it can be really extreme.
That when you're running, it's a split second, isn't it? Through experience, you're making a decision, that rock looks slippy.
But most of the time, you're just thinking you're enjoying the countryside.
So where are you going to be running today?
I think we'll probably go up to the top because we get a lovely view there.
What do you usually have at the end of a run?
Usually cake at the end of a fell
Usually
race.
cake at the end. I mean, that in itself is a reason to do a fell run. You deserve a treat at the end of something, don't you?
Oh, you do, really.
Yeah.
Well, it's it's a little celebration, isn't it?
Exactly.
I'm going to take charge of refreshments, which should get me a pass on the run. But just in case, I have the perfect excuse.
I would run up with you, but I'm not wearing the appropriate kit.
We're fine in that kit.
So, it's like gym when you have to do it in your pants, isn't it?
This is a resourceful pair, and clearly a lack of good sports top isn't a problem.
You've got that tape in your car, haven't you?
Yeah, tape, yeah. Duct tape, yeah.
So what we're not doing is duct taping my chest. You two, up that hill.
Okay.
Go.
Let's go.
Both of you.
We have to go
Enough of the duct tape. I mean, I didn't expect that. But what an offer.
They're taking the long way round. It's an intense run, but I take my snack duty just as seriously.
This looks like the perfect spot, doesn't it? Get my blanket out. Yeah.
As Jules and Nikki furiously fell, I'm concerning myself with the more delicate details.
I have a inability to leave a blanket unstraightened. It's like a duvet cover. Got to have it straight. So I've got a selection of cakes. I think I've overbought, like I always do when I'm like someone's coming round for a cup of tea. But it's better to have too much than too little, as I was always taught.
But there's no time to worry about that, as these two are on the home straight.
But I think they're going to be coming from over there, and I will be... Should I do this? Is that too much? I mean, who wouldn't want a cake off a woman on a blanket in a beautiful landscape doing this?
Time to find out.
Ladies! Wow. May I welcome you to my film running picnic. Please, welcome to the blanket.
From up here, it's clear to see this sport is about more than just running, or even the cake.
I'll have a chocolate one.
Yeah, there you go. There's a chocolate cake. Where better to have some cake? This is spectacular up here, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
It's one of the most beautiful views I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, at the start of a race, we always say to each other, we're lucky to be here.
And this view always makes me, you know, my heart do a little flip, really, even though I've seen it a million times, because, you know, all these fells are special, and it's not just like scenery to me, it's like family, you know. I love them like family. I know that might sound a bit funny, but they're kind of all, yeah, it's a kind of love affair, I guess, really.
Whenever I get the train home and I get across a bridge, there's a wee sign that says welcome to Glasgow at Glasgow Central, and that feels like family to me because I know I'm about to go home. So I know what you mean. Landscapes can be part of you as much as anything else. And the fact that we can be here today is just a beautiful thing. It's really lovely. Cheers to the nicest picnic I think I've ever had, with the best company. Yeah. Should we get that duct tape out?
I'm now at the end of my grand day out in the Lake District, and it's easy to see why this place is so beloved.
I visited the Lake District more often, I think, than anywhere else. On holidays, long weekends. I keep being drawn back to this place because of the friendliness of the people, because of the sights, and because of views like this. I'm not alone in that. I meet a lot of people who are like called back to this place because it really does call you back. All I can say to you is the first time you come to the Lake District will not be the last time.
Next time, I'm in the stunning South Scottish Glens.
Wow.
And the Isle of Arran.
The most spectacular view is just there.
Making friends.
Come on, Jade!
Seeing the sights.
I'm going to explore the multiverse.
And there's a surprise round every corner.
Ooh, it goes all the way down. What a mistake to make.
So come along on my grand day out.
Perfection.